girls.
I feel like through having the book, we all get to be one of the GoGos when we read it. We all get to be in this world.
Well, you know,
a lot of us have just manifested that.
I tell you what, you're going to get an honest reading of it, because I'm pretty straight up about things.
Listen, let me tell you, not every interview is a delight. You are so straightforward, and I feel like there is no artifice with you in how you talk, and that's exactly how you wrote the book.
Yeah, I wanted every word. Every word in this book is mine. I didn't. There was no ghostwriter. So, I wrote this. Oops, excuse me. With my voice, my words, and I'm, like I said in the beginning, I'm just so proud of it. It turned out way better than I thought. I really didn't know I could do this. I really, really did, you guys. You know what? You can surprise yourself. When you're given a task and you think like, I can't do that. And you push forward and you do it. You can accomplish whatever you want if you just stay focused and put your mind to it and have some support around you, some positive energy. Stuff like this can happen,
So in the midst of all of this incredible success, you had to have a major heart surgery in 84, I think,
yeah.
You're 27?
Yeah.
So, that's a really affecting chapter in the book.
Yeah, that was a very strange time. But out of that came the incredible journey to Palm Springs, which in the book is really fun.
You describe it as a hootenanny.
Yeah. We were I thought we all thought if I was gonna die that we should have one last hurrah. So we rented a Jag and a caddy and went to Palm Springs with loads of drugs and booze and, just had a real fun time with the girls. But I was only allowed to do certain drugs because I was gonna have that heart surgery.
Yeah, I love that you said very quickly in our first interview, you said, but I didn't do coke that week and I was having heart surgery. I thought that was sensible.
I wasn't allowed that. I could only do, things were so
shrooms and
we were so twisted. We normalized all this shit. But you know what? It was the 80s. It was the decade of excess. I'm glad we went through all that. That was fun. I'm here to talk about it.
Gotta have something to put in your book, right?
That's right. It was really good material, right?
So 84, you have the heart surgery, and then 85, the GoGos take a break, essentially.
Well, kind of broke up. Jane left the band. She decided she wanted to have her own career, which was kind of stupid, but because she could have. No, I say in the book, and I told Jane, look, you could have made a record and stayed in the band, but I don't know, things were happening really fast back then, you guys, and we weren't the best communicators. We were all kind of caught up in the moment. A lot was going on, a lot of drugs, and what should have happened is we should have just taken a break. If we would have had management that actually cared about what was going on instead of the money, making money, that's all they were interested in, I think, things could have changed. It would have been a little different. But as it turns out, Jane Fonda got us back together in 1997.
Right, for an environmental legislation. Yeah, I love that chapter. The fact that, for many people, you are a hero. Jane Fonda is a hero to you.
Jane Fonda, oh my God. I can't say enough about her. She's such an activist, and anything she gets involved in is so right on. Like, she's always right on. She hits the nail on the head every time. What a woman. And it was so cool, she'd invite us over her house, and we went to her house several times, the one in Santa Monica. And the thing that I remember about her, about that house, is that when you walked in, she had tons of photographs of her family. And that made me love her even more. I thought, wow, she cares about the right stuff. She's the real deal. She's a good girl, and we did that with her. She was also a chain smoker, and every time that they would take a photograph of her, she kept hiding a cigarette. Did you know she smoked? Because she was making those videos, making $1 million, being a fitness queen, and she was chain smoking, right?
That's right. She was the aerobics queen at that point.
Didn't she make one of the highest selling videotapes or something for aerobics? And meanwhile, she was chain smoking and bulimic and shit, but she's a good girl.
Yeah, she has a good memoir too, guys.
Yeah.
Get Gina's book first, and then get Jane Fonda's book.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can live on the shelf together.
That's right.
So essentially, since 1990, there have been a bunch of reunions among the Go-Go's, but you've also had a great solo career.
So look, since 1990, we've been back together.
You've been back together.
We really have been back together since 1990, and we, like I said, thank Jane Fonda for that. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what. We'd have got back together no matter what, because the minute the door was open and there was a reason for us to get in the same room and start talking, hanging out, everything fell right back in place, you know, like it does in a family. And that's why, at the end of this book, I just say, ultimately, we're a family, because we go through the same kind of crap that families go through, but ultimately, we have stuck together. And there's a lot of, it's all genuine, like we really do care about each other. And we have some horrible fights. As a matter of fact, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Jane and I got into this huge fight on the fucking stage with cameras rolling, and I was like, please stop with the camera. And then like 20 minutes later, she came up and hugged me, and it was over, and it was done. But like before that, I could barely play drums. I was so pissed off at her, I want to murder her. But you know what?
This is exclusive to St. Joseph's tonight, everybody.
Okay.
Rolling Stone did not get this story.
No, but it's, you know, it's just true life, you guys. It's true life. And we all go through that sort of stuff. And to me, that was yet another family situation, right?
And in '94, we get an album that I think has one of the greatest titles ever, Return to the Valley of the Go-Go's.
Oh my God, how fantastic.
That is like a triple reference.
Yeah, we were big Russ Meyer fans, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Great films.
I love also that when you got your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, didn't the band request to be in front of an old porno theater?
Yeah, we have our star in front of the Pussycat, what used to be the Pussycat Theater, where we used to rehearse downstairs in that pit, that filth pit, and have parties and learn to be a rock star.
So in your solo career, you've also done some great songwriting for some other artists that we may have heard about here, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, the way that worked out, okay, so the band breaks up in 85, and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm not a studio drummer. I don't want to be a studio drummer. It's not my thing. I like being in a band. So it took me a little while. I got my shit together, and I put a band together. And I put a band together with a guy named Vance DeGeneres. It was just out of New Orleans. And he had his sister Ellen, who used to keep coming into the studio all the time while we're recording. He said, oh, it's my sister Ellen. She's a comedian. She was just out in LA in all the comedy stores. And of course, Ellen DeGeneres, you know, happened in a major way. But a thing that I'll never forget that Ellen said to me when she would come to the studio, she was hanging out with us all the time, and she said, Gina, if I ever like make it big and make some money, would you sell me your house? And I think of that, and I'm like, Ellen, you could buy the whole fucking block and then some, you know? Can I buy your house? Man, things work out in a way that are mind-blowing.
And I loved Vance for years
and
on
Vance,
The Daily Show.
Yeah, Vance,
great.
Yeah, right? They're the family of comedians, right? And Vance and I have been in contact on, so that's really good. We made a great record. I loved it. Had a good time doing that. Got back into songwriting. The Go-Go's got back together. And then I continued songwriting, and I took it in a much more serious way. And I got tired of dealing with like trying to produce other bands and start other bands. So I just focused on doing the Go-Go stuff, which always would happen every year, and you know, songwriting. And as it turned out, I wound up getting Miley Cyrus, a couple with Miley, and 4 songs with Selena.
Selena
Gomez,
yeah.
Yeah, but that was several years ago. But still, you know, pretty cool, right?
But I mean, Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez, I look at them as performers that might not have had the opportunities that they have if it weren't for the Go-Go's.
You know, now that you say that, yeah, you do have a point, because we did sort of, well, no, because you know what? It was like, hey guys, don't be afraid, we're just girls, but we can do it just as bad as the guys can. So, yeah.
So in recent years, I mean, I feel like the Go-Go's have always been with us, but in the last 5 years, we've just had this revival of people really recognizing the great art and the great music you created. Head Over Heels hit Broadway and San Francisco First, 2018. Produced by Madame Goop herself, Gwyneth Paltrow. 2020, we get the documentary. We also get the first new song in several years, Club Zero from the band.
Yeah, and I love it. because it's totally a Go-Go's classic. Club Zero sounds exactly the way we wanted it to. It talks about what we felt like talking about in that song, where our heads are right now. It speaks for the Go-Go's. It's classic.
And I do